Evening, everyone. It's about 7 o'clock and on Monday, the 21st, and this is your closing comment. And a heck of a day it was. We started up right from the beginning, and as far as I'm concerned, unbelievably, we didn't have a sell-off. We had a continuation rally all day, and after Friday's down 533 to turn around and go up 586 or 1 3/4% was truly amazing, I think. The only thing that was lacking here at all was the volume. Volume was actually lighter today than it was on Friday on the way down. NASDAQ was the laggard today after spending the best part of a week. As a matter of fact, the NASDAQ 100, the QQQs, were the only one of the indexes last week that was actually up in the face of all of those declines. So NASDAQ closed up 111, 0.8%. S&P up 58.34, 1.4%. The Russell was the big winner, up 2.16%, up 48.35. So that was a really nice turn. And the transports, for a change, were not the big loser. They also weren't the big winner, but they were up 285, or just under 2%. Financials, energy, industrials, and materials were the strong spots. Consumer discretionary was a little on the soft side. On the NYSE, we had 3-to-1 up advanced declines, which was pretty nice. We were only 1.4-to-1 up on the NASDAQ. All 30 Dow stocks were higher, and the 5 biggest winners were UNH and Goldman Sachs, each adding 57 Dow points. Boeing adding 51, American Express adding 45, and Home Depot adding 33. What was also interesting was that the 30-year, which was down 14 basis points last week, was up 10 basis points today. So that was a complete turn. The 10-year, which was down just 2 basis points last week, was actually up 5 basis points today. So we may have a little improvement in the yield curve. There were no big economic news bits today. Tomorrow we have May existing home sales first thing in the morning. Okay, the chart on the screen is the oil. I'm going to take this from the weekly to the daily to give you a look. And in fact, we made another new high. Now, we had these 2 days where we weren't, but when we go back to the weekly, we'll see on a weekly basis, we are continuing the higher lows, higher highs in this commodity. Gold was up 13. It was down 110 last week, so that's barely even discussable. The dollar was weak, down 33 cents after being up about, I think we were up $1.68 last week, so that's not giving back much. What was also interesting were the bonds. The bonds rallied hard for last week. Today, they got all the way up. They closed a gap. This one I have to do on the daily. They closed the gap that they left to the downside here on this tremendous move down from 170 3/4 all the way down to basically 153, and it left this little gap, this little breakaway gap here. Well, it closed that today and got as high as 163 2/32. and then closed down on the low, down a full point. So a solid $3 range closing on the bottom. In the grand scheme of things, when you look at this on the weekly, you see we are still, in general, making lower highs. It looked like we were breaking out through this downtrend, but also here, this orange line is the 50-day, and the red line is the 100-day. Actually, these are the 50-week and 100-week moving averages, and it looks like we're going to actually go back to the downside. I mean, we had this little bit of a rise where we moved through, where the 5 moved through the 20-week today, or this week so far, which is really essentially only today. And the green line is the 200-week moving average. So I guess we're going to see how that works out. The other thing that was somewhat disturbing was Bitcoin, and I guess we're going to see if 30,000 is going to hold. I was concerned with a close under 32,920, which I'll show you on the daily, was right here. It was right on that 200-day moving average. We went through it, made a slightly higher low, and it looked like we were starting up. And now we've got these 5 down days in a row. The low here is 30,915. Tonight's low so far is 31,110, and the low here is 30,205. So I guess we're going to see if we're going to break that and head towards 20,000. The only way that, if we break that, the only way that we could possibly hold higher than 20,000 is if we had one of these big reversal days. So we'll have to see how that works out. FIGS, FIGS, which is an apparel company, and ZipRecruiter, ZIP, were both higher today on analysts' upgrades. FIGS 42.61, up $6.21, 17%. ZipRecruiter 23.51, up 2.25 or 10.6%. Microsoft made a new high by a couple of cents, but a new high regardless. RAVN, which I mentioned in this morning's comment, we had a $58 cash deal there, and it closed $57.60. So, that's right there. And Apple is kind of interesting. It closed $132.30, up $1.84, which is not overwhelming. But since the 4-to-1 split, we have had a 10-month consolidation that looks like we may be getting ready to break to the upside. So we'll have to see if we get a continuation tomorrow or if we go back to the doldrums. It's hard to tell. I would have liked to have seen some more volume here today. All right, everyone. I'll be back first thing in the morning. Have a good evening, and don't forget to hit the subscribe button.